As the new school year begins, Rahi immediately notices something unusual about the new transfer student, Jung-Jun. While most latecomers quietly slip to the back, June walks straight to the front while the principal is giving a speech. Later, during the Heightline photo session, he ignores the photographer's instructions to hold the flowers to his chest and insists on posing his own way, which only confuses his classmates even more. The next day, he arrives late again, this time with only 5 minutes left in the math exam. Yet he sits down, calmly flips through the paper, and answers everything perfectly. When Rahi reminds him to fill in the answer sheet properly, he simply scribbles a few marks as if it does not matter, leaving her completely stunned. She tells her best friend that June is not crazy at all. He is a genius, and her curiosity about him only grows. Meanwhile, Rahi secretly observes June, trying to understand his strange habits. When she lightly taps his right shoulder during break, he turns in the opposite direction instead of toward the touch. When she places a rolled piece of paper near his ear, he reaches with his hand from the other side, something no one normally does. Even the simple act of checking his nails is reversed. While most people flip their hands outward, he bends his fingers inward. To Rahi, these odd behaviors feel less like weirdness and more like signs of a mind that works differently. And although she does not know why, she feels drawn to him. At this point, June begins to notice her constant staring, and the roles shift. Now he feels like she is the strange one. One morning on the way to school, Rahi sees June putting a letter into a mailbox. Her best friend says that he is sending a letter to his girlfriend. Later, determined to confirm her suspicion, Rahi secretly searches June's school bag while her friend keeps watch. The result surprises her. The letter is not for a girlfriend at all, but for the president. Rahi is reading the letter when June suddenly catches them red-handed, and the two girls feel like they could die from embarrassment. Slowly, Rahi begins to understand that June has been carrying a heavy burden for years. Growing up in a remote mountain village, he and his sister, Bokyung, walk for hours every day just to reach school. Their route passes through a railway tunnel and across a bridge with no nearby station. Every time a train approaches, the children must find a safe place to hide, and many lives have already been lost on that same path. Since childhood, June writes letters every day to the National Railway president, hoping to convince them to build a station for the villagers. But because the population is small, his letters are never taken seriously. The next day, Rahi tries to apologize, but June stays silent and rides away on his bicycle. She follows him and gently mocks his poor spelling and strong dialect, wondering how such letters could ever reach the president's heart. Still, he does not respond. When Rahi suddenly tells him that her father is a member of parliament, he freezes for a moment. Although his expression does not change, he silently rides his bicycle away. Later, with Rahi's help, June begins correcting his dialect and improving his writing. Little by little, she becomes part of the mission he has carried alone for so many years. June wants to spend more time with Rahi so he can understand her better. Meanwhile, Rahi expects June to learn something new from her every day. At that point, Rahi points out all the mistakes June makes while writing letters. Taking her advice, June posts the letter, hoping that at least one of his letters will be accepted. Afterward, June tells Rahi about the problems in his village. Rahi gives him an idea and suggests that he build a machine that can warn people when a train is coming. June likes the idea and immediately starts working on it. When Bokyung sees her brother trying to build a machine, she keeps asking him again and again what it is. However, June does not tell her anything. Because of this, Bokyung gets upset and sits aside. At that point, June feels sorry for her and tells her that he will explain it the next day. The next morning, June shows the machine to all the villagers and explains how it works. Afterward, the villagers praise June for his intelligence. Later, June cleans his room, where he finds the book his professor once gave him and starts reading it. Once he finishes the book, he goes the next day to return it to the professor. The professor gives him more books and asks him to read those as well and return them the next day. Next, June and Rahi sit in the library, talking about their dreams. However, June says that he does not have any dreams. Getting annoyed, Rahi tells him that since he is so intelligent, he should go to Seoul on his own and move his career forward. June does not reply. Later, June is back at home reading when Bokyung comes in and notices the book he is reading. She becomes very happy, thinking that there is at least some girl in June's life that he talks to. She starts teasing him using Rahi's name. June explains that they are just good friends and nothing more. In the next scene, June and Rahi grow even closer, and June starts enjoying her company even more. One day, while June studies in the library, Rahi advises him to use his intelligence and apply for a scholarship. She then asks him a few general knowledge questions, but June cannot answer them properly. However, when she asks a math question, June answers it immediately. Because of this, Rahi tells him to participate in the math quiz. June participates in the quiz and wins. Afterward, he is selected for the presidential award and is sent to the award ceremony. However, June wants to meet the president, and since the president lives in Seoul, he becomes very upset. At that point, Rahi suggests that they go and meet the president themselves. June likes the idea, and both of them set out on the journey. However, while traveling on the bus, June starts vomiting. As a result, they are forced to abandon the plan. Because of this, Rahi gets irritated and tells June that he should stick to writing letters because nothing else seems to be within his capability. Later, Rahi feels bored, so she takes June to her house to watch a movie. June does not see anyone else at her house and starts to leave, but Rahi stops him. They sit down to watch the movie together. While watching, a kissing scene appears on the television, and both of them start feeling shy. Meanwhile, they slowly move closer and are almost about to kiss. At that exact moment, the TV suddenly stops working, and both of them panic and try to fix it. While they are fixing it, Rahi's mother comes home, and Rahi introduces June to her. However, June feels embarrassed and leaves the house. The next day, Rahi does not come to school, so June keeps wondering if Rahi's father has stopped her from studying because of him. Just then, someone informs June that Rahi is sitting in the office with her father. Seeing Rahi with her father, June immediately speaks up and tells him that none of this is Rahi's fault and that they were only passing the time. He asks him not to scold her. However, Rahi signals to June that nothing like what he is imagining has happened. Only then does June stay quiet. Seeing June's kind and sincere nature, Rahi's father offers to help him with his future work. Afterward, June returns home and notices that his machine has broken down. As he walks a little further, he sees that a woman has met with an accident. Seeing this, June panics, and a flashback begins. In the flashback, Bokyung and June were crossing a bridge when a train suddenly approached. Both of them moved aside, but June's trophy fell. While trying to save her brother's trophy, Bokyung slipped and fell from the bridge. It was revealed that Bokyung died at that moment. The girl who had been living with June all this time was actually Bokyung's spirit. When their father learned that Bokyung had fallen into the water, he desperately searched for her, but he only found June's trophy and never recovered Bokyung's body. When June returned home, he threw the trophy outside the house, realizing that while trying to save it, he had lost his sister. Later, when June came back home, he saw the trophy lying in the same place again. Seeing Bokyung there, June broke down and begged her to stay with him. He told her that he no longer had a mother, and if she also left, there would be no one to take care of him and their father. Because of this emotional bond, Bokyung chose to stay with him as a spirit. She remained by his side so that her brother would not completely fall apart. The story then returns to the present. Rahi calls June and asks him to go with her to Seoul. However, June refuses because he wants to build a station in his village, which breaks her heart. At night, June goes to see Rahi one last time. He becomes deeply upset because his decision hurts her. The next day, June receives a call from the president's office. He informs everyone that permission has been given to build the station, but only after the Olympics are over. June then suggests to the villagers that, since permission is granted, they should start building the station themselves. Hearing this, none of the villagers agrees to help him. The next day, June starts working at the station all alone. Seeing his determination, another boy soon joins him. Afterward, when the villagers realize that construction has truly begun, many of them come forward to support him and help build the station together. Within just a few days, the station is finally completed. Afterward, when June returns home, he sees Rahi still waiting for him. Rahi has come to June's house and keeps asking about Bokyung. However, no one else can see Bokyung at all. At that point, Rahi once again advises June to leave the village and focus on his studies, but June still refuses to listen. As it gets late, June walks Rahi back to her place. On the way, they see fireflies glowing all around them, creating a quiet and beautiful moment. The next day, June's professor informs him that Korea's biggest mathematics and science competition is about to take place. He explains that all students can participate, and whoever passes will get a chance to study abroad. In the following scene, June and the villagers wait at the station for the train. However, June's father does not stop the train there because he has not received any orders from higher authorities. Seeing this, June becomes deeply disappointed, feeling as if all his hard work has gone to waste. Next, June's father reads June's interview in a magazine. As soon as he reads it, he becomes extremely angry and immediately calls the editor, asking why such lies are written about his son. The article claims that a boy named June built the station for his mother and sister, who supposedly died because of him. June's father angrily scolds the editor, but the editor replies that June himself shared this story. On the other hand, June feels completely broken. Bokyung tries to comfort him and stop him from crying. However, June tells her that she already knows why he built the station. He explains that his mother died while giving birth to him, and Bokyung died while trying to save his trophy. June says that all he ever wanted was his father's forgiveness, because deep down, he feels responsible for both deaths. At that point, Bokyung tells him not to blame himself for everything. She asks whether he is a coward who breaks down in fear whenever life becomes difficult. However, June is too overwhelmed with sadness to fully understand her words. Meanwhile, June's father grows increasingly worried about him. June's professor informs him about the same competitive exam, explaining that through it, June could get an opportunity related to NASA and become one of the top students. The next day, even though his job could be at risk, June's father finally stops the train at the station. He tells June to go to Seoul and take the exam. Hearing this, June immediately leaves for Seoul. June's father personally drops him off at the exam center. However, June arrives late and is initially not allowed to enter. At that moment, June's father argues with the security guards, and eventually, June is allowed to enter the exam hall. Afterward, a few months pass, and June's results arrive at home. June looks at the result and silently sits down, tears falling from his eyes. Seeing this, June's father assumes that his son has failed. However, June is actually crying tears of happiness because he passed the exam with an excellent rank. At that point, when his father realizes the truth, he becomes extremely happy. Afterward, June's father tells him that he carries only 2 regrets in his life. The first regret is that he is not present when June's mother gives birth. The second regret is that when June receives a prize in 4th grade, he is also not there. Sadly, that same day is the day Bokyung dies. Meanwhile, a flashback unfolds. In that memory, it was revealed that June's father was the one driving the train on the day Bokyung died. When he learned about his daughter's death, he went into complete shock. Back in the present, June's father shares all of this because June has always blamed himself for both his mother's and sister's deaths. June's father admits that he himself can never give enough time to his family. Because of this guilt, he has never been able to look June in the eyes. At that point, June finally understands his father's pain. He gently tells him not to hate himself the way June has hated himself for so many years. Afterward, June thanks his father for not ending his life that day. It is then revealed that after losing everything, June's father actually tries to take his own life, but Bokyung's spirit saves him. Then the story moves forward a few years. The station, built by June, is now fully operational. Because of this station, many lives are saved, and the village begins to change for the better. At that point, Bokyung tells June that maybe it is time for her to leave. She explains that her brother is now emotionally strong and no longer needs her presence. After saying this, Bokyung slowly disappears. June feels deep sadness as he watches her leave, but he understands that he cannot stop her. In the next scene, June goes to the airport to receive Rahi. As soon as they meet, Rahi greets him by hitting him playfully, upset because he has not contacted her for many years. Rahi tells him that she will marry him on only one condition, that he will never look at another girl and will never fall sick. Without listening to anything else, June simply kisses Rahi, and the movie comes to an end. Overall, this story is deeply emotional and beautiful. Throughout his life, June believes himself to be the reason behind his mother's and sister's deaths. Because of this heavy guilt, he builds the station to ease the burden on his heart and saves countless lives. Through June's journey, the story shows something truly meaningful. After losing the people he loves most, he does not destroy himself. Instead, he chooses to work for others so that no one else has to suffer the same pain. With this, the story reaches its end, making this movie truly special.